In this video, I will provide you with two examples you can use if the stair stringers for a landing can sit on top of the landing, and two ways if they can't sit on top of the landing. And basically what I'm suggesting is that if you have a situation where the stairs are going to be built like this, and there might be a closet underneath the stairs, and you can have the stair stringers sit on top of the landing, then I would definitely recommend building the stairs like this. And of course you can run the joist in this direction here for this situation. And if you can't support it with a wall, but you can cantilever the joist over a wall, then this situation might work. So you're still going to be installing the stringers on top of the landing. The only difference here is that you've rotated the joist 90 degrees to run in this direction. And this design here will provide us with an open section underneath the stairway, but it's not always going to create a nice looking line here. We're kind of coming out here and going up and then in this direction. But we can fix that, right? By using some hangers and cutting the stringers a little differently. And in this example here, the joist can run in either direction. And we will be using the hangers to connect the stringers to the landing or some type of a ledger board here. And I went ahead and moved the stringers in a little bit so that we could nail the flange of the joist hanger to the landing. If I made it even with the outside ends of the treads and risers, then I probably wouldn't be able to nail the hanger to the landing. You can fur the stringer out if you need to. And sometimes the triangles that you cut out of the stringers when you're notching them can be used to fill this area in here, and then just run a 2x4 or a shaped board along this edge here. And of course you can always get as creative as you want to there. The principle should still be the same. The hangers should work. However, if you don't like that idea, then we can go ahead and try this. And this is probably what I would do anyway. I like the stringers sitting on top of something and being able to nail the sheathing into the stringers if I can, to provide me with a nice connection between the joist and the stringer. And in this one here, the joist can run in either direction. I ran them in this direction, but they can run in the other direction. I don't see a problem with that. And you can butt the joist to the stringer or lap them and then install your blocking. And if I was going to run the joist in this direction here, I would just simply run the joist in front of the stringers and have the stringers sit full bearing on top of the wall. So that would be like this and not this over here. And hopefully that makes sense. If it does not, leave your questions in the comment area and I will answer them as soon as possible. And make sure that you stick around for our bonus video where I will be talking about how you can make stronger landings. In this video, I will provide you with a couple of different framing methods that can be used to frame a stair landing that will have a wall underneath it like this one and attached to either one wall or to a corner wall. And this is probably going to be the most common, and that will be where you have a rim joist and you're going to nail into the joist. And if you're using 1.5" construction standard lumber like we're using 2x6 here in the video, then you can probably get away with using 16D nails. And those nails will be used for everything except for the joist hangers most of the time. And in our next example, we are going to have two walls that form a corner, and in this situation the landing will be built basically the same, except you're going to be able to nail this joist to the wall framing, and you will even be able to attach the end of the joist here by using a angled nailing pattern like this one, where the angled nail can go through the joist and then through the other joist and then into the wall framing stud. And of course, if you are using a nailing gun, that's going to be quite easy to do. Next up, let's take a look at the inverted or concealed hanger like we have here. And this is a hanger that does not have flanges on the outside, but has them located on the inside, as you can see here when we take out the joist. So not a bad idea to use something like this, better than nothing. And next up on the list, we have this construction method here that I believe is stronger, and it won't require a lot more materials, just one more 2x4 along with an extension of this joist. Now this idea here seems like it would provide a lot more structural strength because it's sitting on top of a wall here and sitting on top of a framing stud here, and will definitely be something to consider if you're going to have the upper stair stringers sitting on top of this part of the landing. Let's go ahead and zoom in on it here, give you an idea of what we're looking at. End nailing into the ledger here, into the framing stud, and then of course nailing the 2x4 to the framing stud. View from the other side. And if we need it to be a little stronger, we can always make this a doubler and then just have double studs here. And of course this might be required depending upon the weight above that will be transferring from the stringers down to this section of the landing. And if we wanted to make it a little stronger, we could get rid of the doubler and then put a beam in here with a solid post. So another good idea here. The next idea would be to extend the joist like we did with the supporting beam here, and then have it sitting on top of some 2x4s. So this method here is going to require a little more materials, and we will block between the joists instead of using a ledger. And this method right here could save you a few dollars depending upon the price of lumber and the price of building hardware during that period of time. And the joist will nail into the wall framing studs along with the blocks. And of course you can angle the nails again at either end. Here we're angling them into the block. So again, another idea that will provide you with a stronger landing. Another option would be to frame the landing on top of another wall. So we would be using two walls here. View from the other side, and this would provide you with a sturdy landing, no doubt about it, because we don't have to worry about any hangers loosening up over time. And in our last example, we're going to move the wall and put it on top of the framing plate here so that we won't be using as much lumber. And I would strongly suggest to run at least one of the framing plates all the way through to the next stud to give you a little more support to prevent the wall here from leaning either in or out. But again, this is just another option. You don't have to do it. Just make sure that this is braced and structurally supported so it is not going to move while you're building the stairs. So again, another good idea. And then you would install the sheathing and then just build a wall on top of the landing. And this method here might provide you with, and in my opinion it would be difficult to figure out if this method is stronger than the previous method because of the way it ties into the wall framing. And even though it might look awesome, I could still see some problems when building the wall on this side and keeping everything straight. I mean, I could just see this right here being built out a little bit or maybe in about a 1/4 inch and creating problems for the drywall. But again, that's going to depend upon how much time you spend making sure that this is straight. And something like this could take a little longer to build, meaning that it's going to cost more in labor. And it might be cheaper to just build another wall like this one and put it next to this wall. So with that said, we are at the end of the video. If you learned something, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button. And for those of you who are looking for more information about building any type of stairs, make sure that you visit our website and check out some of our books. And a link to those books is located on almost every single page. And to make it even easier for you, I will put a link to that page in the video description box. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out some of our other videos on YouTube. And if you can't find the videos on YouTube, make sure that you visit our website to find a complete organized list of all of the videos we've made so far.